as well. So for tonight, our topic is around pain and inflammation. And what I think is so cool is with all of these different backgrounds, we're really able to weave in our areas of passion, and also we're able to weave in some just background education. And so when we come to the topic of pain and energy within the body, what I love to think about from this, and some of you may have seen my email today, but when I think about pain and energy sorry, I'm just going to mute everybody again. When I think about this, what comes to my mind, a couple of weeks ago, the concept of thinking of our body in an energetic field came up in the life coaching program that I'm in. And what I think is really interesting about this is if you think about your body from an energetic field, so just kind of like channeling into that thought process, there are 3 different quadrants if we use this example. So you think about quadrant 1 is, well, I guess it wouldn't be a quadrant, it would just be a section. But the first section is your low energy. And this is, if you're thinking about low energy, what are the things in your life that create low energy for you? So the things that really drain you, the things that don't fill your cup. When you do them, you're exhausted. This is the really low energy. There are emotions that create this, things like shame and guilt. You think of those emotions and you just feel heavy, you want to crawl in your bed. There are tasks within your life, maybe it's laundry or the dishes, things that just exhaust you. And there are things that we can put in and on our body that drain us as well. So from a nutrition standpoint, foods that we're eating can really make us feel exhausted. I know for me, gluten and dairy, super low energy foods for my body. And so when we look at energy as a vibrational field that our body is in, it's really interesting to get clarity on what are the things that are draining us so that we can shift our vibration or shift our energy level. And so the center section is like your average day-to-day energy levels. So that you might find that there are foods that you eat that fill that capacity where you feel decent, but you're not feeling your best and vibrant. There are tasks that are like that. Like you don't care, you don't mind doing them, but they don't super fill your cup. And then emotions, the same thing. But then when you get to the highest vibration, if you think about when you are full of energy and you're vibrant and you're glowing, that high vibration, our ideal way of living is getting to that all more often. So what are the things that we can do to really raise our vibration? Well, we know that emotions, there's certain emotions when we work through those emotions, we're able to vibrate higher. We know that there are foods, there are supplements that allow us to vibrate higher. If you have heard, we have a 6-foot radius around us on our energetic field if our body is healthy. And so things like the lifelong vitality, which we'll share to our own testimonies on tonight, but when we're adding whole food supplements and high quality nutrition to our body is able to vibrate higher and at a more vibrant frequency. Using essential oils raise the vibration of the body. And when we look at energy from that perspective, rather than adding caffeine or something that's going to be a quick fix, really looking at things that we can release that are no longer serving us so that we can raise the vibration. And then also in just gaining clarity from an emotional perspective, what could be causing pain, and I'll plan to share more of that in just a second. But to start off our evening, and now that we're kind of introduced in that, we have a few of us are going to change up our style for tonight. So in the past, we've been doing kind of breaking it up and doing more education-based, and tonight we'll do education-based, but I think in our conversation prior to all of you jumping on, when it comes to pain and energy and daily habits, I think it's so cool to just hear sometimes, like, what is it that you are doing? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that our friends are doing? Like, let's just all come together and share things that we do when we are low energy or when we are feeling pain. So we'll kick off tonight with Brittany Pio, a licensed massage therapist, and we'll kind of jump around. So Britt, go ahead and get us started.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm really excited about this format to just go into what we all do ourselves. I am a licensed massage therapist, so I have that background, and I've seen a lot of people deal with pain, and having a physical job myself too, I know how important it is to make sure I'm feeling good. So some of the things that I recommend to every client who goes through my door is just two off the top of my head I'm thinking is staying hydrated. So we all know that, but I think it's not always the easiest thing to accomplish, especially this time of year when it's colder. So adding lemon to your water, citrus oils, not only are going to have those cleansing benefits, but you're also going to be drinking more water. I know that I always tend to suck my water down faster when I have those citrus oils in them. I also think that everybody needs to be doing some sort of stretching or foam rolling or using like a tennis ball on your body. And that will really help release the fascia that's on top of your muscles. And that's a lot of times where you feel those knots, and that tension is actually just the bound up tissue that's in your fascia. And it's do these high-end continuing education classes in massage, and they bring out a tennis ball and have us do rolling with this tennis ball behind our shoulder blades and on the bottom of our feet. And there's a lot of value in that. So you can use your oils like Aroma Touch. That's great because it has cypress in it. It's going to really help with blood flow. Do the foam rolling or use your tennis ball. Or whatever type of device you have for that. I love using the Lifelong Vitality as far as pain relief goes. I've just seen in my own experience, not having the really pain. And the other supplement that I think is awesome for people to include with their regime is the Deep Blue Polyphenol. So that has what we know and love of Deep Blue, but it also has components of green tea and ginger, pomegranate and grapeseed, which have a lot of study and science behind helping with inflammation. When we're inflamed, that's a lot of times when we're going to feel that pain. So I can't stress like hydrating, stretching, taking your vitamins serious when it comes to self-care. DDR Prime is another really like fix all for the pain relief that I see with my clients. I haven't used that one as much in my own experience, but it's just been really cool to see people that I know swap out their Advil or ibuprofen with the DDR Prime. Another thing that I'm just thinking of sitting here is my hands get dry this time of year, but my hands also hurt. And I found that I just keep Deep Blue on my desk now, and it works as a moisturizer and it helps with pain relief on my hands. So it's just funny that it serves multiple purposes in that sense. But Deep Blue Rub is a staple in my house and pretty much all my customers that I know of, because of how well it works. If I'm really feeling that tight sore neck, wake up with a stiff neck, I will take a drop of Deep Blue oil and the Deep Blue Rub and rub that into the area, and it really seems to do the job. Something that I hadn't used until recently, and I've had success with it as far as pain and tension goes, is using the turmeric dual capsule. That was just never anything I thought of for pain relief. And I remember a few months ago, we were on one of these Wednesday talks and Liz brought it up about using that. And I just never thought of it. And it has really, to me, been something noticeable that has helped with pain relief and just overall feeling better and reducing the inflammation. The last thing I want to talk on, because I could just talk about all of these all day long, so I hope you guys have like a pen and paper out and you're taking notes. But the last one that I just wanted to mention is Copaiba. So Copaiba is like CBD's nicer sister. It works with your endocannabinoid system, which helps with stress relief, pain and inflammation. Overall, it just has a really grounding effect. And I think if you can use the oils to help reduce your stress, reduce that toxic load, then overall your body is going to be able to do its job. Our bodies are, they know what to do. They're going to heal themselves if we give them a fighting chance. So if we're not in that stressed out fight or flight mode, we're reducing our toxic load, and we are using our oils and our supplements to get us at that really nice baseline of health, then our body's going to have a much better fighting chance when it comes to reducing the pain and inflammation that we have going on. So I could talk all night on this because it is one of my favorite topics, but I will pass the mic on so we all get a chance to share our testimonies.
Cool. Thanks, Britt. I love it. I love when you share. There's so much value in all that you bring to the table and offer from your background. So thank you. Let's do Sarah next. We'll switch over to Sarah King.
Happy Wednesday. I will mirror so much of what Britt says, but I'm going to share a little bit more about kind of my routine and some of my experience that kind of led me into exactly what Britt is saying to you and sharing with you about the impacts of some of these things and how they've been really impactful for me. So the biggest thing that I'll start with is that I have two littles, and I have a little girl who will be 2 in April. And when I had her, I actually had retained a significant amount of fluid in the last 2 to 3 weeks of my pregnancy, so much so that post-pregnancy, my muscles and my tendons and everything were just so, they weren't damaged, but they were significantly impacted from that expansion that had happened. And I had continued to retain some of that fluid post-pregnancy. And so I was having so much pain that when I was discharged from the hospital, I hit the chiropractor's office immediately because I couldn't move my neck. And it was so uncomfortable that it hurt to look down when I was holding my baby. And so it was really a defeating feeling to go through this pregnancy and to have this baby and then not be able to hold her. It was too painful to hold her. And it was really difficult. And so shortly after that, I introduced Lifelong Vitality into my life, and just the combination of the omegas and the nutrients and the cellular health constituents in the Lifelong Vitality within that month made such a huge difference in my energy level, in addition to the management of that pain and inflammation in my body. And it was a game changer. The other big thing that was a huge game changer for me in that realm was also the Terrazyme. The Terrazyme supplement for me, because I was, my whole system was out of whack. And so what it allowed was for a breakdown in my digestive system of the foods that I was eating. It was allowing things to process because my hormones were completely out of whack. And so as everything was kind of resetting, the Terrazyme assisted with the breakdowns of my food to help with that hormone production, to help with the easing of what our digestive system does for our system emotionally and physically. And it really made a difference in not only my physical health and my regularity, and but also in my mood. Through that process, I was experiencing sciatic pain, and I put a combination together of using Copaiba, DDR Prime, and Deep Blue, and putting that across my lower back actually was really helpful in managing that nerve pain. It's so difficult sometimes to target nerve pain when we look at pain and inflammation, because when that inflammation happens, it really impacts our nervous system and our nerves, not nervous system necessarily, in that way. And so it's that was really helpful for me to manage that pain. The other thing that really I'll mimic a little bit what Britt was saying about incorporating citruses into my routine. I noticed a huge difference in my aches and pains when I started incorporating more citruses into my routine and hydration into my water. That additional flushing and support on a cellular level really helped with reducing like the achiness around my joints, that stiffness when I got out of bed in the morning, and really made a huge difference for me. The other I'll add in is I take Copaiba soft gels every night before bed because I really find that they are very helpful, not only from an emotional standpoint where they kind of target that central nervous system and help to ease some of the stress and tensions, but also with exactly what Britt was saying, in that they really has helped with pain management for me in a lot of ways, and helping to reduce inflammation. So all of those things together, I'll say that for me, the experience that I've had working with patients and wholesale customers around pain and inflammation is the impact that even if you have just a slight amount of inflammation in your system, the impact that that has on your day to day, it's kind of like it can be kind of like Chinese water torture, where you just have this constant drip of of irritation or discomfort that's manageable. You can get up, you can go to work, you can do what you need to do, you can take care of the kids, you can clean the house, you can do all those things, but it's a constant kind of weight on your system. And that consistent weight on your system starts to then impact all the other systems in your life. Do you feel like going out and socializing, or do you just run down and tired because it takes your body extra energy to manage that stuff? And so it can be more difficult to do the other things that you enjoy in your life and to feel good about your life and yourself. And then you become more stagnant. And with that stagnant place then comes additional pain and inflammation, because we're not moving our bodies like we are, we're not getting our limbs moving, we're not, kind of circulating things the way that our bodies are meant to do. And so looking at targeting your pain and inflammation, and the kind of systematic approach that takes to your overall health, it is what it did for me, and why I really feel passionately about investing in taking Lifelong Vitality and using things like Copaiba. I also use the turmeric jewel caps. I had actually researched curcuminoids for a few years prior to taking it, and so the health benefits of those in targeting that healthy anti-inflammatory response in your body is just so powerful. And this combination, or this jewel cap, really the way that it's developed to get into your system to help you absorb that and to really have a powerful impact has been something I take it every day. So that's something that I definitely would encourage if you're struggling with just kind of a chronic inflammation that you're experiencing. So those are my big ticket items. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back to Katrina for the next round.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you. Cool. I'll go ahead and share next. And there's some new names on here that I don't think I've met yet. So I'll just real briefly introduce myself. My name is Katrina Potter, and I 6 years ago was introduced to doTERRA, and at the time I was a speech pathologist. And I always share that doTERRA is the vehicle that just changes our life from a health standpoint, emotional standpoint, and also from a career standpoint. So 6 years later, this is something that I do full time, and I'm extremely passionate about it. And how it has become a vehicle is I've identified that emotional work, and there's something called emotion code, which is a identification on emotions that are suppressed within the body and that are creating pain. And so what I wanted to talk about is that, and then also I pursued understanding or going into life coaching, again, because I think that there's a power in knowing the emotional root behind the pain that we're experiencing. And there's a power in knowing the emotional root behind the low energy that we're experiencing. So I wanted to take my share more around the emotional perspective from pain and energy, and just share with you a little insight on that. So if you think about our body as energy, meaning we either are full of energy or we're low energy. And we also think about different parts of the body are responsible for processing different emotions. So when you notice that you have an upset stomach and you do a check-in with yourself and you say, okay, yeah, I'm anxious right now. Our stomach is typically the part of our body that's responsible for processing that emotion. When we're stressed, we typically see it in our shoulders and in our spine. And so that's the area of the body that's typically responsible for that. Every person's body is responsible, or every person's body processes emotions in a different way. And that's what's unique to you, which is so cool. And it's really interesting when we start reflecting on what is going on, what is our body telling us, because it's this intricate system that really sends us messages that we need to hear. And so what I'm extremely passionate about is identifying and working with individuals on figuring out what is the emotion that is stuck within the body and helping it to release. So for me, when it comes to pain and energy management, I really like to look at what is the emotion that could be targeted. And what is so interesting when we look into using oils from an emotional perspective, there is, if you've not seen this book before, it's Emotions and Essential Oils. This is a little bit outdated edition. There's some newer ones and you can get it right online. But this book goes through what the oils can do for you from an emotional perspective. So when you start learning what those messages are, you can then gravitate towards the oil that would best suit that. And if it's something that you are wanting to learn more about, we can provide support there. But that's a really cool book. And then there's also this book, and it's called Heal Your Body. Louise Hay, she's got some really cool content if you want to check her out. But each part of the body is outlined with what the belief is. So if, for example, you're experiencing chronic pain around, let's do your muscles, you can then go in, okay, what is the belief there? Or what is that meaning from an emotional perspective? And muscles represent our ability to move in life. So anyways, and then there's positive affirmations. It's just a really cool book that gives you more of like what could be going on with your body from an emotional perspective, linking towards the physical pain. So I thought I would share that. So those two things, and then emotion code is something where it's just like a body scan. And so I'd encourage you to just do like a quick body scan, like a check-in. How often do you say, hey, legs, if you could talk to me, what would you say right now? Like we don't typically give our body that level of self-care where we just check in to see what's going on emotionally. So that's just a little tangent to get you thinking about that. And then from a daily routine, so aside from doing like little body scans and check-ins, a couple of things that I add in, and my husband as well, we swear by the Lifelong Vitality Pack. That's like our baseline foundation of, we absolutely do that. So I think that's phenomenal. Copaiba, the Copaiba soft gels are something that are a part of our daily routine. And then diet is, Liz isn't here tonight, and I know she would be talking about that, but foods can create more pain in the body. So, kind of paying attention to what foods have you ate, and even looking at like an anti-inflammatory diet or an elimination diet where you're looking at different foods. I know for me, when I drink alcohol, the next day, all of my joints hurt. It's a trigger food for me. And so just being aware of that. And then daily or weekly chiropractor appointments. That's just part of my wellness routine. We go once a week. My daughter, my 3-year-old, goes once a month, and then the baby goes once every 3 months. And that's just a part of like our routine maintenance. Our spine is responsible for holding up our body. There's just a lot to be said about that. And then every night I have a turmeric latte, and it's just a couple of drops of turmeric in warm almond milk with some spices like cinnamon or allspice or nutmeg, and that's added in, and that's just a great way to be drinking the turmeric. So I do that. And frankincense under the tongue every single morning to help out with cellular inflammation. And then a couple of other things that I just wanted to share. So with babies, we're in the season of teething. So to share with you on that, from a teething pain perspective, I use the Roller and Calmer roller bottle when I have that right nearby. So those are the kids' pain and calming blend, and it's just a roller bottle, and I rub that on the gums. And then the other thing, if I don't have that I'll use is lavender and copaiba. So just those along the jawline for pain. And then the last few things that I just wanted to share from like what I've seen working with other people for pain. Marjoram is a phenomenal oil to use for arthritic pain, as well as oregano. Those are two that I've seen to work really well with individuals. So if you have arthritic pain, try out oregano and or marjoram. And then frankincense and lemongrass and wintergreen are the other two that I wanted to share. So lemongrass from an emotional perspective is a great oil to release whatever you're feeling emotionally. So if you feel like you're storing a lot and it's causing a lot of grief, try using lemongrass to help clear that. And wintergreen is the oil of releasing control. So usually like when we're white knuckling things or we're really stressed out, when we use wintergreen, it allows our body to relax and release that control. And then past tense is another one it's the tension blend. So it's great to alleviate tension within the body. And also from an emotional perspective, it's a great oil to help release whatever you're holding on to. So wanted to share that from more of the emotional realm. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chats and we'll do some Q&A at the end to answer those. So I am going to pass the time over to Carrie.
Thanks for helping me unmute myself. I'm like looking for the button. Oh gosh. Hi everyone. As Katrina mentioned, there are some new faces, so I will introduce myself. I am Carrie Ruff. I have been a wellness advocate for over 4 years now. And this business, this lifestyle has changed my life on so many different levels. It goes past being able to work from home, the time freedom, the financial freedom, the no cap on income, that type of that piece of it. But what's really changed my life is having control over my health, my children's health, my husband's health, and not always having to rely on pharmacies and doctor's appointments and all of those things, and just retraining our bodies to use natural solutions. And it has given me a journey that I honestly, I could literally bawl my eyes out. I'm not even kidding. I have so much passion to where it has helped me on so many levels. I've suffered many traumas over the last few years, and I've suffered a lot of pain and inflammation, which I'm about to get into, and a lot of other health ailments. And we've received answers and solutions to problems that my husband and I were seeking for years through modern healthcare, and problems have arisen since that weren't able to be solved, which it might have taken us a little bit longer to solve them, but in the end, we've been able to get down to the root cause and actually heal our bodies versus just masking things. So it's, as Katrina said, there's a lot that comes with into our body from an emotional standpoint. For me, again, I've experiencing trauma. I've suffered from a lot of emotional upsets, several traumas. And with that said, there were many times where I broke down and really just wanted to go to the synthetic route, because I just couldn't, I felt like I just couldn't stomach it. And I reached out to these beautiful women, my tribe, my community, and I broke that thought, and I just kept pushing and persevering, because I knew that if I put myself on a medication, it would be, eventually I'm going to have to stop it, and I'm going to have to face those emotions. As Katrina said, those emotions are going to come out. Suppressed emotions will eventually come out. So I took that chance of dealing with those emotions now. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted over here, but where I'm going with this is I have a lot to say about pain and inflammation. I actually recently just put myself on a neuropathy and neurological regimen, which is really revolving around pain and inflammation. And I kid you not, I'm not even exaggerating when I say I've been taking all of these products every single day with this new protocol that I've been on, and then some. I actually forgot some of them just because I don't have my book down here, but I will touch base with them. Energy, of course, the Mito 2 Max, that's helping with the adrenal fatigue. It's helping with energy down to the cellular level. And it's not giving you that quick rush of energy and that quick drop of energy. It's just a very natural energy type feeling. The Lifelong Vitality, that's giving us, oh, sorry, the Mito 2 Max goes down to the mitochondrial energy level too. That's where I want to go with that. The Lifelong Vitality, guys, our bodies, we're humans. We're supposed to eat right. That's where our body gets energy. Like, I feel like with all of these products on the market, we're skipping the fact that we need to be eating the right foods. We need to be getting the right nutrition and the right supplements, the right vitamins and minerals. The Lifelong Vitality is that. They've been scientifically proven and studied on so many different levels, and it's literally head to toe foundational support for this lifestyle. The oils work, the other supplements work, but without Lifelong Vitality, you're not going to have that longevity of health for the rest of your life. We're all going to have to be taking pills at some point. We might as well be proactive. Our Lifelong Vitality, as Katrina said, that's mine and my husband's. It's our non-negotiable, hands down. Like, if we have to choose, we'll get our LLV before we get any oils for the month, which that doesn't happen, but I'm just saying, if so, again, head to toe, every organ, every body system, that's the LLV. I take the Deep Blue polyphenols. That's helping with pain and inflammation from the inside out, rather than like the Deep Blue rub or lotion where you can use topically, kind of from the outside working in. Great with pain, obviously pain, inflammation, great for all things on the inside. And of course, I was specifically taking it for more of my nervous system. The turmeric duo caps, I wasn't taking those, and that's only because I just didn't have them at the time when I started this regimen. So I was taking turmeric oil itself. Copaiba every single day internally, frankincense every single day internally. I've also been taking Zendocrine internally. Zendocrine specifically targets the endocrine system, which that's going to help with energy and strength and emotions and all the things. Hormones run our body. It also helps detoxify the organs and stuff. And when you have a digestive system that's flowing smoothly, the rest of your body is going to flow smoothly, because that's where, when we're taking in foods and nutrients, our digestive system is obviously what processes and absorbs those into our body. I also been taking DDR Prime internally and topically on my feet and up and down my spine, internally twice a day and topically twice a day. DDR Prime is going to be all things with down to your cellular level, the health of your cells, healthy reproduction. It's going to help wean out the bad cells a little bit quicker than it would without the DDR Prime. With that said, all of these things are amazing for your immune system. So, like, honestly, I haven't even been taking On Guard internally lately, just because it's not that it would hurt me, but I've just been taking so many other things that it's not been needing. The DDR Prime, I've been taking Clove internally. All of these things are amazing for the immune system. On top of all of these products, I've also been adding Aroma Touch and Cypress. Feet and spine, I've also used, and my husband, I wish he was able to do this call with us, but he's been on kiddo duty putting them to bed, but he uses all of these for working out. He's been working out like 3/4 of his life, and he swears by eucalyptus and basil. Basil helps with adrenal fatigue, so rubbing that over your adrenal glands, taking that internally, and also putting on your thymus and under your nose. They help wake up the musculoskeletal system, which is going to add that blood flow and the strength. It gives you that strength and motivation to be able to lift and work out a bit harder than you would without it. It's kind of like it's a pre-workout, really. What else here? Lemongrass. I haven't been taking that internally, but I've been using that topically. The marjoram, the wintergreen, Deep Blue rub, and the oil. Past tense, that's just been as needed. Actually, that's the one thing on this sheet that I haven't been taking with it. And then of course the aroma touch, as I had said. So like, I know there's a few more oils that I totally left out, but I'm sure you guys are probably overwhelmed with all of that anyway. My routine has been taking probably about 20 minutes a day, maybe not even that much. I'm not sure. I honestly don't really count. It's just a part of the norm for me. But I went to the point of having emotional breakdowns because I couldn't even make a roller bottle for my customers without my husband's help. Like, I could not hold up a roller bottle and put oils into them because I was just shaking too much. My nervous system was just completely shutting down, which, as we know, controls everything else. So my digestive system was off, everything in my body was off, and I was in constant pain. If I wasn't laying down in bed, I was in pain. And there was actually about a month straight where I was working from bed. I couldn't get out of bed. And that of course impacts the from an emotional standpoint, which, as Sarah mentioned, starts trickling back and doing this revolving door of the pain and inflammation and the cortisol levels and all of these other things. So anyway, I went from all of that to I've been feeling great. My energy's been amazing. I have more strength. I have more flexibility. I have the energy to work out and do all the other things. I do a lot of other things in my daily routine, but I'd be here for a while. A lot of other natural remedies like an acupuncture mat that's going to help increase blood flow and pain and inflammation, and some other things as well. So I can always talk about that another time, but I'm not going to keep you guys all night. So
I love it. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're going to shift over to question and answers and have some panel discussion in just a second, but there's some really good or great comments that are happening in the thread. And so I just wanted to take a second to read those for those of you that are not joining us live. So there was a question on when we're talking about using these oils, how are we using them? And I think this is a really great topic to dig into more. As long as you open the bottle of oil, you're not going to do anything wrong. Just open the bottle and use it. So either aromatically, topically, or internally. When we're talking about an oil internally, many of us are, or I'm sorry, when we're talking about an oil, many of us are talking about them internally because there's so much benefit to the body when you can absorb it both sublingually and also through the digestive system, and your body can receive the benefits that way. We also know that anything that we apply topically to the skin penetrates into the blood stream, and so we're getting the benefits that way. So if you're more comfortable applying to the site of pain, then you can just rub it on, and sometimes you might find that you want to do both. So you can take an oil internally, and then you can also put it on your joints. It's really about listening to your body and what you feel most comfortable with. And then there's something called habit stacking, where if you're listening to this and it's feeling a little overwhelming, or you're like, oh my goodness, they use all of these things and I'm not using anything, like, where do I start? Choose one thing. Get into the habit with one thing. I think most of us, what we're saying is like lifelong vitality is a really good place to start, but choose one thing. And then from there, you can habit stack, which means when you're in a great routine with one thing, then add another routine. None of us just started in one day with 27 new habits. We all habit stacked, and we did one thing, got really consistent with that, then added a next thing and a next thing and a next thing. So just encourage yourself to do one new thing and give yourself grace that you don't need to have all 27 things right this second. The other thing that came to my mind is Symphony of the Cells or Aroma Touch. And if you haven't seen these, I think it would be valuable. We'll do a little training module in the upcoming weeks so that you can see them. But Aroma Touch, if you just Google Aroma Touch technique or Symphony of the Cells technique, these are layering techniques that you can do along the spine. So we've been talking about how our spine is so important for pain and energy and in just overall wellness in the body. Well, it's not by coincidence that these layering techniques apply a specific set of oils to the spine in order to provide the body with overall targeted support for pain, inflammation, energy levels, digestive issues. You get to choose. Aroma Touch is a generic layering technique that helps the immune system. It helps with pain. It helps with stress in the body, and then in energy. And then the Symphony of the Cells, there's different protocols for each of the different, different health concerns. So you would customize based on what you're wanting to target. But those are two other things that you can add in. And it's really about picking a routine that you can feel like you can commit to and stay consistent with. So just to share that. And then so you can use the oils internally, you can use them topically, and then also from an aromatic standpoint, anytime you're breathing in the oils, it's calming the central nervous system. And there's a calming of that fight or flight response, which is going to also calm and help your body reduce that overall stress. So those are a couple of things. Sarah mentioned, to answer that question, for tension, she enjoys past tense, peppermint, copaiba, DDR prime topically, and then she enjoys the copaiba gel caps and turmeric in oil and water, or the dual capsules, and then frankincense for an internal thing. And then Jessica Smith said, Mito2 Max helped me get through my day after having my 2-year-old nephew last night that doesn't like to sleep. Britt says she loves to do aroma touch massage into my feet and calves, and then I put my legs up on the wall for 5 minutes. It's so relaxing to do it at night before bed and great for blood flow. That immediately brings me back to college basketball, and we used to do that and take ice baths, and I'm slightly triggered. I didn't want to do it. I want to recreate that in my brain, that's not like that. And Brett also said she hasn't had bad period cramps since the Lifelong Vitality supplements have been in her life, and it's been amazing. Cool. So those are the shares on that. Britt, are you raising your hand to share something?
I am, just because this came up to me while we were all talking, and something like actionable and easy that we can all do. A couple of years ago, I went to a wellness night at Dr. Lombardi's chiropractic office, and this has always stuck with me. And a lady came in and talked about lymphatic drainage and flow in our body. And a lot of times when we have that sluggish system, we feel sluggish, our energy levels are low. And then we're holding on to more toxins in our body. So something easy we can all do: when you wake up in the morning, you have that little notch right in your collarbone, like where they come together, there's a little notch. And you can just lightly tap there for 20 seconds, first thing in the morning, and it stimulates your lymphatic system. It just gets you moving. So that's something I do. No matter if I have time or not in the morning, we all have 20 seconds.
I love that. Thank you, Brett.
And I think that jumps into the point that I was going to make on Katrina, that you were talking about routines. We're sharing a ton of information about different ways that you can target these areas of your life. But what Britt just said is exactly what you need to think about. There are two different ways of stacking your life. The first is prioritization. So if you have something that is really depleted or something that's really urgent, then obviously you're going to focus your prioritization of your habits around that. So if I am experiencing sciatic pain that's debilitating and difficult for me to walk, then creating a habit of how I'm going to help that on a cellular level and also manage the pain of that is going to be my priority. Now, if I have chronic overall inflammation, for me as a mom of 2 kids with a full-time job, it's really difficult sometimes to think about adding a lot into my routine. So where I started was something very simple. Vitamins is a really simple way that's quick and easy. Britt just gave another really great example, getting that lymphatic system going every day, 20 seconds. So it's choosing something that is reasonable, something that you feel aligned with, something that feels like something that is accomplishable, that you can make that promise to yourself and see it through. And that builds your confidence, and that builds your commitment, and you're honoring yourself, so that those habits then stay with you. They then become a part of your routine. So either prioritizing based on the acuity of whatever it is that you're experiencing, or prioritizing based on what you can do. What can you begin to do today to start incorporating some of these habits into your life to help reduce your pain and reduce your inflammation and start to feel more of that energy that you want to feel to do the things that you want in your life.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's do our panel. Before we do that, I just wanted to show a couple of things. I'm going to actually pull up my own doTERRA account because I want you to see this in case you haven't gone through these steps yet or you just want a refresher. So when you're in your account, you'll notice that you have two different ways that you can order. There is the loyalty rewards, and then you can just do a standard order. So I would encourage you to do your LRP template. What I love about this is I usually ship mine before the 19th, and I just hit process today when I am ready to do it. But what I love is you get to customize this. So you can see in here that I have the vitamins, I have Terrazyme, and then I think that's a frankincense touch. I'm not quite sure what's in there. But what you can also add in are these wellness kits, which are stinking awesome. It's so cool. So I wanted to show you the Relief Wellness Program because we're on the topic of pain. And when you come in here, so what these wellness kits are is they're $75. So it's great if you're trying to stay on a budget, but it's targeted wellness. So you get to choose the Relief Kit. And then for 3 months, something different will send to you, all geared towards a new habit. So if you're habit stacking, these are brilliant. So your Relief Wellness Program kit number 1, on the first month that you do this wellness program, you get Deep Blue oil, you get Aroma Touch, you get the Deep Blue polyphenols, which we were saying is like your natural ibuprofen, you get little packets of the sample rub, and then you get this ball, like what Britt was saying, rolling out muscles. So $75, it's all set. You don't have to think about it. And then that automatically will come to you. And then the next month, what you'll get is Wintergreen, which we were talking about, releasing control, releasing the tension in your body, Copaiba soft gels, which we've all been talking about, is something that we take daily. And then the Deep Blue rub. So that's cool. You get that on the second month. And again, it stays at $75. So you're keeping yourself in budget. And then on the third month, you get Past Tense, you get the Deep Blue oil, you get the turmeric duo capsules, you get a bottle of fractionated coconut oil, and then you also get little roller bottles. So you can create your own customized roller bottle so that you can have it easily to apply to your targeted area. The other thing that's not on here, but just happened to pop in my brain is you can also make up a little spray bottle. So if you have typically like pain all throughout your legs, put your oils in a spray bottle and then you can spritz it on your legs, rub it in real quick. And it's really about habit stacking and making your habits to be super quick things like what Britt was saying, 20 seconds. But those are really cool relief kits. And then the other thing that I wanted to show you is when you get your Lifelong Vitality Pack, you'll notice I had Terrazyme that came in. So you can get them in these little prepackaged. We prefer those because then it's just my husband can pack them and bring them to work. But if you were in either one, and you do this, you add the vitamins, these are the vitamins that we're all talking about. You add them to your bag. And then on there, you have, what just happened? Let me go to the bag. Add it to my order. Okay. You can customize them. So when you're in here, there we go. So if I click on customize, there I can choose 3 things that I would like to add for a discount. So the Mito2 Max that we were talking about, rather than it being $39.50, when you get the vitamins, it's down to $20. Need a probiotic? Get it with the vitamins. It's down to $20 instead of $34.50. If your kids need vitamins, get them when you get your vitamins. And then there's also the Deep Blue polyphenols. So instead of them being $60, they're $20. So this is really a great way, the Terrazyme as well, great way to maximize that. So if you're like not really sure where to start with Lifelong Vitality, customize it, and then get one of those relief kits. The pain one is a great way to start. And then that way you have 2 things coming at you, super simple habits easy to start with and will make a huge impact on your overall feelings of wellness, reducing pain levels and helping with overall energy in the body. So I wanted to share that. And then let's open it up. Who has, before I say that, so how you would do that, we would want to do that is through the loyalty rewards program, because then you're going to get points back for doing it that way as well. So the points I've been mentioning in previous weeks, but the points are ways that you can earn free doTERRA cash. So it's a really cool way to to create healthy habits and then earn points back that you can get your oils for free. And then if you haven't seen this month, if you're on here and you don't have your own wholesale account, when you get started with a wholesale account of, and you spend $150, you get $50 in free cash. And if you have a friend that is interested in getting started with doTERRA this month, reach out to the person that got you started, and you can earn $50 in free oils for helping get them started. So that's a cool referral system. And then the other thing is this month, the 200 PV promo. When you spend 200 PV, you get free On Guard, which is for your immune system. You get the free On Guard Touch, which is in the roller bottle. You get the On Guard sanitizing mist, and you get the foaming hand wash. So if you just bump your order up a little bit higher, you get the 200 PV promo. So there's a lot of really cool things. And then also the 125 lemon eucalyptus, you can get that for free when you order through the loyalty rewards program, and your order is 125. So you would also get that, stacking all the deals. So let's spend the next few minutes and open it up. Who has a testimony using oils for pain or energy or motivation that you would like to share with everyone? Anyone have something that you want to share? Kira, go ahead.
I'm always willing to share, start everybody off.
Love it.
So I'm also a wellness advocate. I have been using doTERRA products for the last several years. At one point in my life, I was on heavy duty prescription medication for lower back pain. After I had my kids, my body was a hot mess. I couldn't stand up straight. I ended up suffering that way for a good 5 to 6 years before I started to shift my thinking towards there's got to be a better way. So through the use of chiropractics and many years of working through getting rid of over-the-counter medications, I turned to the oils and have been completely over-the-counter, any type of medication for pain, and solely using my oils now for almost 2 years. And I always say I am fat, but yet fit and lots more fun than I ever used to be. I may be 50 pounds heavier than I was 10 years ago, but I'll tell you what, I'm in better shape now than I ever have been. I can go to the gym 5 days a week, and I run double classes now. So I'm doing not only fitness classes, but I'm weightlifting afterwards. And this is coming from somebody who 10 years ago couldn't lift 5 pounds above my waist. So the significant differences in being able to rebuild my body to inner strength using a healthy source has been immensely relieving to me. So I use the turmeric gel dual capsules nightly. I use the copaiba. Frankincense is in my morning and evening routine. And the caps that I make for myself in the morning include the copaiba, the turmeric, frankincense, and then I add in, if I've got, for me, it's allergy season. I'm allergic to winter, no joke, the change in the pressure and all of that. So I have, when you talk about stacking, I've got my pain management that I use, my immune system, and I also do my allergies. So I stack my little self up, and I've got everything right next to my desk. So when I come down in the morning, it's all right there for me. It literally takes me 1 to 2 minutes. So I figure if I have 1 to 2 minutes to pour some love into myself every day, morning and night, it is definitely worth it, and it has changed my ability inward and outward. So
Oh, Kira, I love that. I had chills when you were talking. Thank you so much for sharing. I love that. And it really is a testament to being proactive versus reactive. And that's what this whole lifestyle where we're all so passionate is when we have the ability to feel empowered and be proactive with our own healthcare. It's amazing. Oh, I love it. There's a testimony share in the chats. My boyfriend had, I am reading, just so we are clear. I do have a husband, not a boyfriend. I am reading. The boyfriend had tendonitis, and before he had surgery, marjoram and copaiba were keeping him in relief. I love that. On Facebook, there was a discussion on another boyfriend, also not mine, recently had his hand smashed by a hammer, and the deep blue rub is his best friend. We applied it a few times the night it happened, and we were surprised to see that there was no bruising the next day. It has really helped with the pain and keeping the swelling down. Love it. Cool. Thank you for sharing, everyone. Anyone else? We have a couple more minutes. Anyone else feeling compelled to share a testimony? Go ahead, Sarah Trumpio. I see you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Trunfio, and I have been with doTERRA for about, 5 years or so. And as far as pain goes, I was in a lot of pain when I first started with doTERRA, and that's actually what drew me to doTERRA, because I kept being popped around to different specialists and nobody knew what was going on, but nobody really was focusing on the core of like the root, which is why I love doTERRA, because it focuses on the root of what's going on. And so over the years, I have learned some different things, and I want to share just a few of those things with you. First of all, when I am in pain, one of my go-tos is actually peppermint. I absolutely love peppermint. It's a great oil for decreasing inflammation. And so if I feel a headache coming on, anything like that, I put peppermint on. And you just rub it right on your forehead. If you have a roller, or you can just kind of tip the bottle over and just put it on your forehead. I also tend to hold tension in my jaw area and in my neck. And so if I'm feeling like I'm starting to get a headache, I also apply to those areas. Frankincense is amazing. They call it the king of oils for a reason. It actually intensifies the other oils. So it's like using extra strength Tylenol. So I'll put peppermint on, and then I'll layer that frankincense on top. And it just helps it to like work better and be extra powerful. And then past tense, again, I hold a lot of tension in my shoulders and in my neck. And it comes in like a roller. You can just roll it around your neck and your shoulders. And if you have never tried it, I'm telling you, it's like a game changer, because you can feel it. You can just feel your muscles like melting. It's like so relaxing. And then, the lifelong vitality, it's amazing. I totally agree with them. If you have to start with something, it's lifelong vitality, because it's a powerhouse of 3 different supplements that give you more energy, help you sleep better. And then there's the pain and inflammation, the cellular work that it does. So that has been really great for me, and I can tell when I don't take it. And then the last thing that I'll mention is just, if sometimes, so I have celiac. So if I accidentally have gluten, copaiba, I put some of the oil right underneath my tongue. And then just recently, because of these beautiful people here, I started trying DDR Prime, and I was like, wowed, because it's painful when I have gluten in my system. And it was just like incredible. So those are just some of the things that I use. As far as energy, the Lifelong Vitality has been great for me for energy. But if I'm, needing a little bit more energy, the citrus oils are incredible in your water, just, to keep your energy up. So.
I love it. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing. And I just have to share a real quick testimony that just currently happened. So I don't know if any of you have like a little, it's called a pop socket on the back of your phone. But if I've been holding my phone for a while, my pinky and my ring finger, this is like the problems of a millennial, I guess, but my finger will literally be cramping. So today I've been doing a lot of work on my computer or on my phone, and my finger has been pretty much like stuck in this position. And I kept saying I have like a Charlie horse in my finger. It has been hurting so bad. Like every time I pick up the baby, I'm like, oh, it hurts. And I just put right before this class, I was like, oh, how ironic. We have a pain class and I'm experiencing pain right now. But I put on past tense because that's what I have. I'm not at home right now. And I have past tense and I have rescue where the kids blend. And I just put that along my pinky and my finger and then also on my elbow because I could feel it radiating up. And it literally is like not even a thing right now. So that's cool if you have also from like holding your phone or carpal, like a lot of people right now, carpal tunnel, spending so much time in front of a computer, grabbing your oils for that and just layering deep blue or past tense or something right on there, lemongrass too. Cool. So thought that would be something else worth sharing. And anyone else have any testimonies that you want to share before we wrap up tonight? Or any questions in the comments section? Cool. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us and also the woman that got you started with doTERRA. You can definitely help out. All sorts of resources as you continue your journey. And we will be back next week and we will be talking about, I should have this memorized and also I don't. Anybody know what next week is? Anybody at all have that? Next week is stress, sleep, and emotions. So we'll be diving into that more next week at 8 o'clock. Cool. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week. And if you're in upstate New York getting all the snow, use some Deep Blue after all of your shuffling. Bye, everyone.